start with a very brief background. You could look us up online if you don't. How many people have been to the deli? Let's just test, actually. We can. Okay, that's pretty good. That's what we call a marketing study. So just very brief background. I'm a Chicago kid who went to U of M. I studied Russian history. Particular focus on the anarchists, which might seem kind of odd at a policy conference, but I'm very big on the power of paradox, which I guess to wit, I'm a total shy introvert who's become pretty comfortable, or at least moderately comfortable enough to get out there and talk to large audiences. I'm an anarchist running a $65 million company with 700 employees, 23 partners, and 91 or something employee owners. And we're an organization that's gained a national and probably international reputation by refusing to open outside Ann Arbor. So there you go. So do we have any other history majors here today? None? Oh, one back there. Okay, great. I don't know what that means, but anyway. So with my history degree, mostly when I graduated, I mostly just knew I didn't want to move back home. No offense, I like Chicago, but it was a little too close to my family, so I decided I would stay in Ann Arbor. I took a job in a restaurant where one of my college roommates was waiting tables. My job was washing dishes. My mother was not that happy after 4 years out-of-state tuition that was my job. She didn't really love it, but I really just got lucky because in honesty, I stumbled into work that I really, really love, which is food and cooking, and I stumbled into people that I love working with. So my partner, Paul Saginaw, was the general manager at that restaurant when I got going. That's how we met. Here we are, 37, or actually 41 years later, 37 years since we opened the deli. We still like each other, which is no small thing. To be clear, I had zero intent of going into business. I had zero entrepreneurial dream. I had no interest in food or cooking. I grew up on Kraft macaroni and cheese and Mrs. Paul's fish sticks, and nobody in my family was in business. They were all Tang also was a big thing for me. Everybody in my family were teachers, doctors, and lawyers, and dentists, and psychologists, so I was like the total failure of the family for not ever getting an advanced degree. So I really, like I said, just got lucky. In hindsight, in the context of beliefs, I would tell you from the heart that I had very negative beliefs about business at the time I started working. I really just needed a job. My sense of business was mostly it did bad things to people, and I didn't really have much interest in being part of one. It seemed like your two choices were put a suit on and sit in the office, which sounded miserable. No offense if you do that. You can, I just don't want to. I don't actually have an office, so that's pretty good. Or you know, work on a factory floor, which isn't evil, but didn't sound that exciting for me either. And so I really, like I said, just sort of got lucky. And I got lucky too because Paul, my partner, quickly changed my beliefs about business. He taught me what his grandfather had taught him, which is that business is really neither good nor bad, it's just a tool. And that in the same way you could take a hammer and you could hit somebody in the head and cause them really grave harm, or you could take exactly the same hammer and do what a lot of our employees have been doing, which is build houses for Habitat for Humanity. It's the same hammer. All that's different is what we do with it. And so that really changed my beliefs about business and got me focused on doing the work that we do. When Paul and I started the deli, which I think you can see up on that slide a minute ago, that little tiny building, in 1982, we had 2 employees, 1,300 square feet, so about a fifth of the size of this room right now. Fast forwarding to today, we have about a dozen businesses all located in the Ann Arbor area. We only do each business once, and so we're always focused on creating unique and interesting things. As I look at our history, I guess what I want to say is that although people have a lot of theories about why we're successful, the one theory that I've never actually heard from anybody is to really explore what we believe about business and how that's different from what other people do. So before I get into just a few of my beliefs about life and business, I want to share with you a little bit of what I've learned about beliefs. So up on the screen, I think you're going to see a belief cycle right there, which I learned from Bob Wright in Chicago. It is a self-fulfilling belief cycle. So here's the reality, y'all. We all have beliefs. I'm not talking sports, religion, and politics, although those are also beliefs, but I'm leaving those out of the conversation for today. We all have beliefs. We have beliefs about human beings. We have beliefs about ourselves, about our mother, about our kid, our significant other, about a cup of coffee, about bacon.
It's good.
Based on what we believe, we take action. Literally every single action you and I take, other than ducking if somebody throws a ball at your head, is based on what you believe. Okay? Based on what action we take, the people around us start to form their own beliefs. Based on their beliefs, they take action, and this is what blew my mind, is it turns out 95% of the time, their action will reinforce our original belief. That's why it's a self-fulfilling belief cycle. Let me give you one very quick example. Let's just say that you work in an organization, not ours and probably not yours, but they're out there where the CEO believes training is a waste of time. What action will they take? Don't training. What will the employees who work there start to believe? Exactly. What kind of work will they then do? Lousy. Usually people say crappy. And the CEO says, thank God we didn't waste any money on training. Look how bad these people are. Okay? Flip the belief of the leader around and take the belief we have. Training is a great idea. What will we do? Lots and lots of training. What will the people who work in the organization start to believe? Yeah, we care about them. There's a future. What kind of work do they do? Really good work. And we go, this training rocks. Let's do more. The sad irony is it is the identical employee population in both scenarios. All that's different is the belief of the leader. Is this making any sense? Yeah. Okay. I could give you a lot more examples, but let's just run forward from there. So between belief and action, there's a little filter. We all have it. We filter out all information that does not fit with what we already believe. And we allow in all the information that supports what we believe. And if you're a high achiever, which you probably are, you wouldn't be sitting in this room. Then we actively go out and look for information to support what we believe. Who's heard the saying, I'll believe it when I see it? This is a real question. 8 of you? Who's heard the saying, I'll believe it when I see it? Okay. It's totally wrong. Can you please cross it out in your head? What should it be? I'll see it when I believe it. If you change what you believe, everything starts to look different. Okay? Let me give you a very quick example. Very quick. I had a corgi for 17 years. Do you know what those? She ran with me. Her name was Jelly Bean. She died 4 years ago Monday, which totally sucks. 6 months later, my girlfriend got us a new corgi puppy, who we named Bean Sprout from Jelly Bean. And Sprout is a really great corgi little puppy. She loves Tammy. She's fabulous. About 4 or 5 months in, one day Tammy takes the broom out of the closet and she starts sweeping the floor, and Sprout, who's this wonderful puppy, goes totally ballistic. So I tried logic. Like, don't worry, Sprout, it's just a broom. That didn't work. But because I was working on all this belief stuff, it dawned on me that to you and me, it's so obvious Tammy's sweeping the floor, but to a little corgi puppy who loves her owner, it looks like this long, weird thing with bristles got a hold of her and it won't let go. This is going on all day long. So what I want to suggest is if you change your beliefs, you're going to find very interesting things start to happen. And just for an emotional or intellectually interesting exercise, what one might want to do is take a belief that's opposite of what you normally hold. I'm not saying stick with it, but just listen to the next speaker or read a book or do a day with a different belief and see what happens. I'm not saying you got to stay with it. It's just things start to look a lot different, okay? Very quickly, I started to look at beliefs like the root system of our lives. Because although you can't see them, once I understood this cycle, I realized everything that was coming up above the surface was totally connected to what we believe. And with that in mind, I started to look at beliefs in 3 broad categories, because although I like to honor nature and its complexity, I understand also that we need simple models through which to view and understand the complexity. So this is really simple. I started to look at beliefs in 3 broad categories: positive beliefs, neutral beliefs, negative beliefs. If beliefs are the root system, you don't have to be a farmer to figure out what sort of outcomes are y'all going to get from negative beliefs. Yeah, neutral beliefs don't do much. Positive beliefs create positive outcomes. If you take only one thing away from this entire little mini talk, please understand, you cannot get positive outcomes from negative beliefs. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can get action. You can overthrow governments. You can have lynchings and riots, get people fired, but you cannot create positive ecosystems out of negative beliefs. And that taught me to look deeper at my own beliefs and start to be able to focus on the positive ones. So in my last few minutes with you, I just want to share a few of my beliefs with you, not because I believe you should change yours to fit mine, but really just to share it and put it out there to get you thinking. By the way, my email is ari@zingermans.com. I know some of you already. If I don't know you, today is meant as the beginning of a relationship, not just a 15-minute window into the weirdness of my mind. So, and I've written so much stuff that I could probably be up here for 7 weeks and still have more topics to cover. So just a few things to get you thinking. Some beliefs that have become important to me. Number one, I believe that everyone is a creative, caring, intelligent human being. I don't care who they vote for. I don't care where they came from, race, religion, age. They're all good people, okay? I believe that our job as leaders is to help get that greatness out of them and to create an ecosystem in which they feel like they can become great and help them become themselves. I believe that everyone, or I choose to believe that everybody means well. It may not be true, I don't know, but I could tell you that it makes my life a lot less stressful by starting with believing the best. I believe that there are natural laws of business. The pamphlets are out there. I don't know if y'all got them or you're going to get them later. I believe that all healthy organizations are living in harmony with those natural laws, whether it's a Brownie troop, a basketball team, a city, a business, a not-for-profit. I believe that when we don't honor nature, problems come. Masanobu Fukuoka, the great Japanese farmer and poet, said if we throw Mother Nature out the front door, she's going to come back in the window with a pitchfork. Okay, when we violate nature on the planet, we create a crisis of resources. When we violate nature in the workplace by violating the natural laws of business, we create an energy crisis in the workplace. And that energy crisis is endemic, is everywhere. Apathy, disengagement. People are capable of greatness, but when they're in an unhealthy ecosystem, they don't do great work. We pay them the same, by the way, whether they're doing great work or whether they're doing mediocre work. And when we waste that natural resource, that's a crisis, okay? When people choose ego over the ecosystem, problems come. Because we're all in the ecosystem together, and you can't be healthy in an unhealthy ecosystem. So I could go on at great length, but I want to close with just one little quote. I like quotes. This one comes from a guy y'all never heard of. He's a Catholic anarchist. You didn't even know there were Catholic anarchists. But I study them, and I actually write about the application of anarchism in business, just to throw paradox at you. So check it out. So his name was Amon Hennessy, and back in 1970, and pardon the gender bias, it was his, not mine, but he said, we really can't change the world. We really can't change other people. The best we can do is start a few thinking here and there. The best way to do this, if we are sincere, is to change ourselves. The only revolution worthwhile is the one-man revolution within the heart. Each one could make this by himself and not need to wait on a majority. Thank you very much. Have a great conference.